Hey guys, welcome to P&W Repair. Today on the channel, we are going to take a stab at making a wheel seal fit on our 1957 Minneapolis Moline 445 project. It is not the seal that I pulled out of it. However, the seals that I did pull out of these rear hubs are no longer available. So, we have a single lip seal that is dimensionally correct, but is not designed to go in how we're putting it in, so we'll see what happens. Stick around. So after a pretty decent amount of time doing some research, trying to locate the seal that did come out of this originally, I ended up, my best option was an SKF seal number 28669. I did only buy one of these. I do need to do both sides, but I wanted to be sure that this was an option that was actually going to work, because this was not a cheap seal. I want to say this was 20 something bucks for the one. So got that. What I'm working with here is this being a single lip, single-sided seal. It's designed to be driven in this way and seat up against a flange. However, because, you know, a lip seal, lip faces your oil, right? So it would have to go in as such from the back side. Now to do that, I have a 95 millimeter driver, which is slightly undersized. It does, I mean, it's going to work perfectly, I think, but it'll grab the lip of that and we'll drive it in from the back here, and it'll go all the way in up against that flange. At least that's the hope here. Guess we'll find out shortly, huh? This rubber coating that's on this is designed to seal oil from passing by that, so it's another pretty crucial part, right? Because it seals against the axle shaft, it's got to seal the whole housing too, right? Hot spit. Just like that, fellers. That worked out pretty good. Let's get another one of those ordered up, I think. We'll see how it fits up on the axle shaft. Make sure it's going to ride in a good spot there and seal up. But I think that's going to do the trick. And in all honesty, I don't know, I did spend quite a few, probably at least 2-3 hours researching these dimensions for this seal, and they're not a super common size, so may not have a whole lot of other options, which is unfortunate, because I mean, these are leaking so bad that even after I have the thing running, I mean, we're still waiting on machine shop parts, but after it's back up and running, you can't even operate it with how bad the oil's leaking out of the rear end. So we'll get that reinstalled and see what happens here. So it did have 2 shims between the hub hat and the axle tube. They were just a steel shim with nothing really sealing them, but pressure as far as I can tell. But I don't want to take this apart again and have to do it again. So between each shim and on the back of the inward shim, went ahead and Honda bonded it because I have a metric ton of this stuff laying around still. And I'm going to do that on the hat as well. Just put a thin layer of silicone on there just to be sure that it doesn't leak between the hub hat and the axle housing. So got those shims all done up. Just gonna slather this up right quick and we'll slide that back on there. I don't know if these shims are designed to be the seal or if they had anything to do with preload on those wheel bearings or what, but you might ask why I don't just put the hat straight to the axle tube and do away with the shims, because my reasoning behind that is it absolutely could have something to do with bearing preload. So rather be safe than sorry. Don't want it overly tight, and I don't want to be burning up bearings because I chose not to reuse those shims. Not that she's a high-speed machine or anything, but still a risk I'm not willing to take. So I'll move you guys and then see how this does. Getting the seal on there, it should go on pretty nice, I think. There's a nice taper on the axle shaft. Moment of truth. Oh, that's heavy. Not lined up quite. Jeez Louise, that's not light. You know what I just realized? There's no bearing race in there. Crap. Be back. Now I'm gonna rush and go ahead and drive our bearing race back in. Get this all set and torqued before the silicone dries. Luckily, Honda Bond has I think like an hour cure time or something. So we should be all right, but Alrighty. Take two. Beautiful. All right. The other 3 bolts started. And I think our seal rode right up that taper just fine, so should be good on that front too. Okay, that worked out. I'm gonna grab a torque wrench. I'll do, I don't know, I'll probably run those like 45 foot-pounds to start. I'll come back out here in an hour or so and run them down probably to about 100. Let me get a torque wrench. So I went ahead and did the preliminary torque on them. I ended up doing 50 foot-pounds. I've let this tack up for around an hour. We're going to run them down to 100 foot-pounds and call that good. I want to say they're about a 1/2 inch bolt. 100 foot-pounds should be about right. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, now it's just a matter of putting everything else back together. Jeez. Sure we get a good purchase on that nut. These are not ones you want to round off and have to buy new ones. They're not cheap. You get into hardware this size. freaking no joke. So, after I get this, I'm working on the tires, putting, well, originally I was under the impression by how much rust is on the wheel that there was no tubes in the tires, but they were filled with calcium. So I bought some new air-water valve stems because they were rotted out. Naturally, when I tried to put air to it, it would not reseal and just continually drained all the calcium out. So went and got some new valve stems, broke one tire down to replace one of them the other day, and figured out quickly that there were actually tubes inside the tires. So we're going to try to, I got that tube out, and I'm going to try to drain the rest of the calcium out of the tire. And we're going to try to just put a valve stem in it and see if we can't get that bead to reseat. Then we'll get that wheel back on this side, and we'll see, you know, a good, at least, well, 100% of the reassembly, but get a good idea of how it's disassembled that way too. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother filming the other side. It's the same thing, right? So, but see if I can't get that tire back together. So I had to pull the outer bead off the wheel to get the tube out. Let's see how easy or lack of easiness it goes back together. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Figured this might be worth putting in the video just for any of the guys that are curious how tractor tires are done. Granted, these are not tire spoons and they're pry bars, but they work nonetheless. Now the fun part. Might be too big of a chunk. I might not be able to do it all at once there. Son of a bitch. Come on. It's a disadvantage to pry bars. Once you get into the end of the bead like this, sometimes they're a little too wide. Come on. Last little bite, back over. All right, so now for the placement valve pin, I'm going to use our bead breaker here, push that bead down. We got the room to get in there and easily put that deal in there. Not that loose, huh? That'll do it. So before I put that in there, I'm actually going to go at the inside of the hole with probably a wire wheel. It's nice and rusty, so don't have high hopes that'll seal. I want to give it the best chance of sealing that I can. Got our new valve here. I wire wheeled inside and the outside of the hole best I could. It's an ugly hole, but we'll see what happens. Well, you know what? There's some pits that I uncovered that are right through the wheel. Well, I can already tell you that's not going to hold air. We're going to have to do a little bit of welding. Okay. So this is what we're working with. Cut a piece of flat bar that I had laying around. It's just some thin 16 gauge, I suppose that's probably what you'd call that. And what I'll do is I'll take that, I'll back the hole, and then I'll fill that hole with weld. Because we're going to fill this hole completely, because I don't know if the camera picks it up, but right there, you might see the sunlight come through when I move my finger. There's 2 pinholes right up near the valve stem. So we're going to fill the big hole where the valve stem was, along with those 2 pinholes, and then we're going to go 180 degrees from where that hole is, the other side of the wheel, and we'll drill a new hole where the wheel's more solid. So it's a practice I've done a number of times, and it's always served me well, so that's what we're going to do here. Get out of here, bud. Yeah, that rusty metal does not weld super great, but it'll work. I don't know what my machine's set up to. I think you need more wire. My wire speed's too slow. Maybe not. Maybe it's just because we're trying to weld on rust, which never is really a spectacular option. See another pinhole right there though, huh? It seems like that does a little bit better. So I'm gonna just fill this with a bunch of booger shit, and then we'll go at it with the grinder and smooth it out. I'm probably gonna try to stand it up and weld that backing plate from the inside as well. Did I just flip the breaker? Terrific. Well, good thing I was done with the outside there, huh? Alright, now that we got some of that ugly out of there, I'm going to go ahead and, since that's actually stamped or session in the wheel there, I'm actually going to try to build that all up with weld. It'll just look nicer. And then we'll smooth it out again. I think we got most of the hole pretty much filled. But any of these low spots, I mean, bring them up and level it out. Same with this big area right here. So we'll do that. All right, we're all done patching this up. There's from the outside of the wheel that you actually see. And then on the inside, it's not the prettiest, because again, we're welding rust, but we got our backing plate welded on. That'll hold. One other thing worth noting here, it's definitely a good practice to paint that spot that you just exposed as bare steel, inside and out, especially on the inside, being that it's going to be in contact, direct contact with calcium and water. Don't want to give it an easy route to corrosion and more pinholes. So spray some of that paint on there real quick to kind of protect it, and good to go. All right, well, I went ahead and moved our bead breaker to the other side of the wheel and center punched a location for our new valve stem. So I'm going to start by just drilling out a small pilot hole, then we'll swap it over to a step drill bit and finish it out to size. Alright, and I'm not entirely sure what size these are, so I'll probably stop in between a few times. I don't know if they're 5/8 or 9/16 or what they normally are. I know they're more than a 1/2 inch. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to a 1/2 inch, 6 fleet. Alright, well, add new step bits that aren't complete garbage to the shopping list. Managed to hog a hole through there. Took a while longer. We got her dialed. Okay. See if we can get this bead to seat, huh? Let me get set up. I'm probably going to have to get a ratchet strap. I'm going to pull the bead breaker, and I'm probably going to have to ratchet strap around the wheel. Don't try to put air to it. So the ratchet strap did not work. The bead on this side of the tire, I boogered up too much. So it's not going to want to inflate like that. Being that I don't have a cheetah or a bead blaster, whatever you want to call it, we're resorting to fire and air. And this is definitely the biggest tire I've done that on, so this should be interesting. See what we can do. I'm going to try it with brake fluid first. First try, not bad, huh? Oh, come on. That worked out. Cool, dude. Between, you know, that coming off, air hose about to freaking blow up, like, getting ridiculous here. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you on the next one.